Hey everybody, Norm from Tested here with my two favorite mics at conventions. It's Mike Senna and Mike McMaster, Droid builders extraordinaire. You guys have had a busy past year, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. The new droids are here. We've been building some mouse droids and
a lot of droid building. Yep.
Well, these mouse droids, I've been following them on social media, and it seemed like a really fun project. Tell me, Mike, how did this come about, and what's the functionality? Because they look like real RC cars.
Right. So a little over a year ago, Lucasfilm called me. I'd been building some other droids for them. They asked if I could build a mouse droid for the Star Wars show. I had no interest in mouse droids at the time, had no information, but fortunately I know a lot of R2 builders that are in the Mouse Droid Builders Club, contacted them, got the information, started building. By the time I finished it and drove theirs, I fell in love with the thing. I mean, the reaction you get from people, I thought, wow, I really want one. So as soon as I finished theirs, I dove into this one.
Wow, so tell me about like the process. You said there's a Mouse Droid Builders Club. What are the resources available? What if people pulled as reference to make this the one that Chewie growls at?
Yeah, so they had taken information we had gathered at the archives as far as the dimensions of it. So it is a 1-to-1 scale mouse droid, much bigger than most people think they are. Mm-hmm. One builder vacuum forms the shells. You have another builder that makes the chassis. And then all the other parts are pretty much sourced. You do have some builders that are building the racks. Michael Kelly made these beautiful racks. And then it's just trying to source. I think on yours you use 3D printed parts, which you could talk about a little bit, but I used handmade parts, found parts.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really incredible the detail that he's got on this. But again, on the Builders Club, Tiny Panganaban strikes again with his 3D printed parts. You can see on all these nuts, the top pieces, they look like nuts and little threaded rods, but this is actually from the top right here up is one piece 3D printed part.
Oh wow!
I just dipped the whole thing in black paint, to get all the nooks and crannies done. But yeah, these two top racks are 3D printed.
Wow, yeah, and there's like a whole philosophy of whether you want to go find a sourced original Greeley, find an original nut, find that original model kit part and put it together. But once those parts run out, because sometimes it's derivative of old model kits, it's sometimes easier to find an online resource and 3D print something that you can just slap on.
Yeah, well, that was the problem. Yeah. So you realize these radios came out of maybe an English radio that was built maybe in the 50s. By the time they worked on Star Wars in the late, 74, 75, these were already antiques. You can't find these anymore, so you have to make them by hand.
Now, you talked about the external, right? There's the vacuum formed shell, but what about the chassis?
Okay, so inside, laser cut aluminum chassis. Guy Vardaman designed this particular chassis. Mike and I both use pretty much the same chassis. And very simple RC components. I mean, you have a metal geared servo for the steering, a high torque motor for the drive system that's gear reduced, and just a simple speed controller. In my case, I have a battery right now for the drive system. I had a separate battery for the sound, which you don't need. I think in Mike's, you're using one battery for everything.
Yeah, and it looks very similar. Of course, both are set up basically the same way. This is the sound system, of course. This is the speaker, the sound trigger, and then the sound board. All these pieces were gotten from McMaster. We did a nice trade. I built some electronics for him, and we traded a kit for it.
Are there resources out there if people wanted to make their own mouse droid? Because from an RC perspective, it's much simpler than an R2, and even from a machining perspective, if you can 3D print and can vacuum form the top, it really is just these laser cut the frame that's maybe a little difficult. So are there resources out there where people can buy kits?
Yeah, you can. Well, you can't necessarily buy a kit. There are parts runs. You can find that information. If you go on Facebook, you can find the Mouse Droid Builders Club, and they will answer all your questions and supply parts as they become available.
Yeah, and of course, there's for different levels of people. There's different pricing on frames. Yep. So these are some of the higher quality frames. There's the plastic ones. There's other ones that they can buy. 3D printed ones that they can make themselves.
Right, you can mill
so
your
there's
own
a lot of
MDF
different
and
options.
Yeah,
a
you
lot
can
of
make a
different
plywood
options.
frame if you want.
Absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's still a builder's club.
Right,
so.
right. You got different wheels on this too. So as an RC, how fast can this go, and how maneuverable
Mine's
is it?
gone in excess of 30 miles an hour,
Really?
which is way too fast. It's 11 and a half pounds. It's very top heavy, relatively unstable. So mine is throttled way back. Mike did some clever gearing on his.
Yeah, I just changed the gearing and put a slower motor on there. So it's crazy fast. He dialed his down to probably the same speed that I'm going at, 100%. He's going at like 60%.
Wow. Have you guys done a drag race with your Mouse Droids?
You know, we experimented a little bit yesterday. We wound up, it turned into, our drag racing turned into a demolition derby of sorts. We started banging into each other accidentally, and then it escalated from there. But no, we really need to do an honest to goodness drag race.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, let's get these Mouse Droids on the track here at WonderCon, and let's see how fast these things can go.
Yeah, you're definitely faster.